Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Siboga TV, which is your number one online political channel. Many people have actually been asking, why is it that Fred Okengo Matiang'I is actually being pushed to go for the presidency of this nation? Some of you who are my listeners in this channel, they have always been asking, why are people pushing Matiang'I presidency so hard? And even if you go to every corner of this republic, many people are identifying themselves with Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And now the big question is, why Matiang'I and not other presidential contenders? Because if you look in our political arena, we have various political leaders who have come up and they have given themselves to go for the presidency of this nation. We have Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, we have Martha Karua, we have Rigathi Gachagua, and very many others. And now people are asking, why is the concentration on Fred Okengo Matiang'I? And therefore, the big question we are going to ask and try to analyze it into greater depth is that, why is it Matiang'I and not other political leaders? But before we dive in and try to dissect all that, I could request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to our YouTube channel and they always keep watching our videos, I say thank you, because you really inspire us to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And whenever you subscribe to our YouTube channel, always remember to hit the notification bell, because by hitting the notification bell, it means that you have given YouTube permission so that you can get notified whenever we upload any political content into YouTube. And now, let us go back to the question, why Matiang'I for presidency and not others? I will start by actually trying to explain from one point to the other. But according to the research I have done, I have found out that there are 7 factors which actually stands for Fred Okengo Matiang'I. And I am going to break down each factor and how that factor places Fred Matiang'I first than other presidential contenders. But let me start by giving you those 7 points. The first point is international credibility of Fred Okengo Matiang'I. That is the first point. The second point is national unity and inclusivity. That is the second point, which make Matiang'I to stand out. The third point is about proven track record of Fred Okengo Matiang'I. So that is the third point, which actually makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to stand out. The fourth is the strong leadership and working ethics of Fred Okengo Matiang'I. That character in Fred Okengo Matiang'I actually makes him to stand out. That is the fourth point. The fifth point is about commitment to the rule of law and order, because that also makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to stand out from the other presidential contenders. Number 6 is about public service and integrity, because Fred actually value that so much. And number 7 is about education and technocrat expertise, because Fred Okengo Matiang'I actually has that. And now let us try to discuss from one point to the other. Let us start with international credibility. Because of good professionalism and good governance, which Fred Okengo Matiang'I has, it makes him to look so admirable, because Fred Okengo Matiang'I is a person who has very strong governance measures, and he believes that for the country to forge forward, we must have good governance. We must deal with mediocrity. And because of that virtue of being having professionalism and the firm stance on what? On governance, that makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I actually to stand out. So the second is about national unity and inclusivity. If you see the way Fred Okengo Matiang'I is actually transacting his politics is a bit non-partisan. Fred Okengo Matiang'I is a person who has actually placed himself as a national leader. It doesn't condone tribal politics. And that is why, from the time when Fred Okengo Matiang'I came into the public eye, he had positioned himself as a national leader, unlike other political leaders. Because if you look at other political leaders, they have actually come into the national arena of politics by first starting being kingpin of certain regions, kingpin of certain tribes. But the politics of Fred Okengo Matiang'I is about national governance. It's about national inclusivity. He has that approach. And you will find that's why he's being admired by different stakeholders and Kenyans at large. Because there's no tribe you will go and you don't get people who actually admire or admires Fred Okengo Matiang'I. So that is the second thing which makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to stand out than other political leaders, because he's a person who believes in national unity. He's a person who believes in Kenya, and he doesn't believe just being as a tribal kingship. But if you look at other leaders, you can say that this is a kingpin of this region. This is a kingpin of Ukambani. This is a kingpin of Mulima. This is a kingpin of Rift Valley, and so forth and so forth. But for Fred Okengo Matiang'I, that is out of his reach. Another thing which makes actually Fred Okengo Matiang'I to stand out from others is actually that he has what we call a proven record of performance. Because in all ministries that Fred Okengo Matiang'I has actually been placed, he has worked very hard and he has performed exemplarily. So, for example, if you look at what he did when he was in the Ministry of Education, he actually streamlined the Ministry of Education. He stopped exam cheating, which was actually rampant, and which other people had gone to that target and they had failed terribly to stop that. But when Fred Okengo Matiang'I went to that side, he was very firm and he made that things are working in the side of education. That is also what he did when he was in the Ministry of Interior and also in the Ministry of ICT. So Fred Okengo Matiang'I has that proven record. And the Kenyans know that this is a performer. He's not a choker. He's a person, once he's given a job, he is ready to do that job. And that makes him to stand out among others. Another thing which makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to be admired and to stand out among other political leaders is about strong leadership and work ethics. He believes that for you to be a leader, you must have strong kind of leadership. And because of that strong kind of leadership, that is why he was able to perform in every ministry he went. He could say that we are going to move from analog to digital. And that was it. So he was very firm and very passionate on what he could actually try to do. That means he's a very strong leader and he has that strong leadership style of doing things. And whenever he works, he always observes the ethics in that field. And because of that strong leadership and work ethics, you will find that other leaders, they cannot stand to have that kind of qualities of having that firm leadership. And this makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to be admired so much. And people feel that with that kind of leadership style, if he is given a chance to become the president of this republic, then he is going to streamline things in various ministry and the country at large. So that is the fourth thing which makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I actually to stand out. Another thing which makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I to stand out is about commitment to rule of law and order. And that is actually what he was able to do when he was in the Ministry of Interior. He made sure that there was observation of law and order, and he was very firm on that. And he always believed that the working ethics must be followed, and he was committed to that. And because Fred Okengo Matiang'I is committed to the rule of law, many people feel that if he will be given that chance to be the president of the Republic of Kenya, then he is going to make people to follow the rule of law. Many people will not be able to break the rule of law. Remember, if we have a very strong leader, a person who believes in the rule of law, that kind of leadership will actually come down to individual levels because he cannot condone those people who breaks the law. And because of that, he's going to promote what we call order and integrity. So that is another thing which makes Fred Okengo Matiang'I actually to stand out. And also, another thing is about public service and integrity. He is very much passionate of public service. And that is why you could find Fred Okengo Matiang'I. He could be called to serve. He was very ready. And he was passionate to work for the people of Kenya in the public sector. And at the same time, he could work with integrity. That is why in nearly all ministries that Fred Okengo Matiang'I was able to work, he was a very smart person. He actually worked with integrity. He worked with his head high. He could not condone with things like corruption. So Fred Okengo Matiang'I is a person who believes that human beings must have integrity so that they can work very well in the public sector. And lastly, Fred Okengo Matiang'I is capable and is able to stand out from others because of education and technocratic expertise. Because if you look at Fred Okengo Matiang'I, he is well educated. He is a technocrat in nature. And that means he can offer expertise to different levels in the government. So Fred Okengo Matiang'I is such a person with all that. And if you look at those 7 factors which I have explained, then you can really understand why Fred Okengo Matiang'I is able to stand out in the political arena. Because people are able to see, they are able to look at all the political leaders, those political leaders who have given themselves to go or to stop at the presidency, let come 2027. And even if you look at all of them, you start with Rigathi, you know what he stands for. If you go to Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, you know what he stands for. If you go to Eugene Wamalwa, you can know. But Fred Okengo Matiang'I has branded all those 7 things which I have explained. And you will find that other political leaders, you will find they miss 1 or 2 of those factors. But Fred is able to have those 7 factors. And because of that, he is capable of standing out. So those are the reasons why Fred Okengo Matiang'I is able to stand out. And I think I have answered that question. Why Matiang'I and not others? In your own thinking, why is it Matiang'I for presidency, let's come 2027, and not others? Please, I would like you to drop your comment in the comment section below. And if this is your first time to bump into this YouTube channel, I request you kindly to take a minute and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give this video a like, share the video to your friends. And if your friends are lovers of politics, then it's good to request them for us to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And for those ones who have actually subscribed to this YouTube channel, I say thank you. May God bless you, because you really inspire us to continue coming up with this kind of political analysis. And with that, I say goodbye until we meet in our next political discussion.